So as you all know, Superman was sent to Earth with a mission, and in James Gunn's version, that mission is not what fans expected. You see, James Gunn made a decision that changes how people will see Superman moving forward. Okay, so just instead of sending Superman to help humanity, well, James Gunn's story of shows Jor-El sending him to dominate it. Now, Superman isn't just struggling with his powers anymore. He's struggling with a legacy that tells him to rule, not inspire. Okay, so the Superman movie kicks off with a partial message from the birth parents of Superman himself. It's soft, sentimental, full of love. I mean, that's what Superman sees, but the second half of the message itself, the part that got corrupted, ends up in Lex Luthor's hands. Okay, now he downloads the data and reveals something completely different. Now, the second part doesn't really tell Superman to help people. It tells him that they're weak, stupid, and inferior. Now, Superman is just told to go ahead to rule over them, take multiple wives, and spread the superior Kryptonian gene. That's the actual message right there, and the movie never corrects it. Okay, so basically for 2 hours, the audience waits for a twist and waits for Lex Luthor to be exposed, but it never happened. You see, there's actually no reveal that the message was forged, no indication that Jor-El's words were twisted. Every opportunity to clarify it gets passed up. Instead, Superman accepts that this is what his parents said, and he still chooses to be a hero, but that doesn't change the fact that this original story, this original mission was domination, and that was the choice of James Gunn. He made Superman an alien conqueror by design. Now, fans are coping hard with this one, okay? Now, I'll be honest. I just heard this from, the reports and stuff, people talking about it and everything. I haven't even seen the movie yet, but am I upset about learning about spoilers? Absolutely not, because I've stated it before. I'll see the movie, but I'm not going to take like a deep interest into it, okay? But anyway, back to the story itself. They're pretending it's a fake out, a setup for a future twist. Anything to avoid accepting what James Gunn put on screen. But the film gives zero reason to believe it was a trick. You see, it's not treated like a mystery. It's not framed as a riddle. It's just played straight. You see, Superman gets a new origin story, and nobody wants to admit how crazy it is. James Gunn rewrote the purpose of the most iconic superhero in existence, and some fans are still trying to say you gotta trust the process. Okay, so James Gunn made the change intentionally. Well, of course he did. He said it himself. He said he's a big fan of Superman and wanted to keep the core of the character. But he also wanted room to change the parts that might work better for his DCU. So he changed Jor-El's motivations. Instead of just sending Superman to Earth out of hope, he sent him as a genetic supremacist, as it seems. So Gunn says that this still honors the integrity of Superman, but there's nothing honest about this kind of change. Okay, you see, it just rips the roots right out of the mythos right there, and that's no surprise. You see, Superman has always been about choice. He was raised by Kansas farmers, not warlords. He chose to be good. He chose to help. But the idea that his birth parents actually sent him here to go ahead and rule and breed, that completely changes the weight of his decision to be here. And now it's not just about rising above his powers. Now it's about rejecting the literal orders from his Kryptonian bloodline. Now, that's not the Superman fans grew up with. That's not what people have loved for decades. You see, from the reports throughout the movie, Superman has moments of doubt where he reflects on the message. He wonders if his purpose is real or if it's a mistake. That could have led to a powerful character arc, but instead it just flatlines. He shrugs it off with the usual "I choose who I am" speech, and the movie moves on. Now, the message is never questioned. It's never disproven. It's just accepted. James Gunn treats it like a valid part of of the story, not a trick or manipulation. That's the story that he simply wanted to tell. Now, the bigger issue is that this wasn't done to elevate Superman. It was done for jokes. All throughout the film, there are constant gags about Superman's potential here, how many women he could get, how he could dominate the earth itself. It's juvenile, and instead of giving emotional weight to Superman's identity crisis, well, James Gunn undercuts it with edgy humor. Now, he wants the audience to laugh at the idea of Superman being a reluctant alpha male, but nobody's laughing because, well, it actually makes the character look a bit ridiculous. Now, Superman is supposed to represent the best in people. That's why Jor-El sent him here, not because of genetic superiority, not to spread the seed, but because humans had potential. I mean, that's how it worked in the Donna movies. That's how it worked in the Snyder's version. Jor-El in Man of Steel says humanity will stumble, fall, but eventually join Superman in the sun. Now, honestly, James Gunn replaced that with what seems to be locker room nonsense. Now, Jor-El tells him to conquer Earth and take over. That's the new canon right there. You see, this new direction drags down everything around it. Now, every noble line from Superman is now clouded by his backstory. Now, when he says he wants to help, we're supposed to believe him. But now there's always a question, was he programmed to rule? Is he fighting his instincts? This all in acts. I mean, James Gunn made Superman look like a ticking time bomb, as it seems, instead of a symbol of hope. And there's no way to fix that in future movies without a massive retcon, okay? Now, honestly, James Gunn tries to go ahead and defend it by saying this idea was explored before in comics. Now, there are isolated examples, sure, like John Byrne's run where Jor-El considered Superman to be a god on Earth, or in DC Rebirth where Jor-El got manipulated by Dr. Manhattan. But these were short-lived experiments, okay? Now, they weren't core canon. They weren't treated as the truth. They were just eventually undone by recontextualized. Now, James Gunn is just treating his version like the definitive one. No ambiguity, no doubt. Now, this isn't just about Superman. You see, it's about what James Gunn is doing to the DCU. If he's willing to rewrite Superman like this, what's he going to do with Batman? That's what I'm wondering. What's he going to do with Superman if he includes her? To the Justice League. I mean, this is not creative liberty. It's just creative ego, as it seems. He wants to shock people with edgy ideas and pretend that it's bold storytelling. But Superman wasn't broken. You see, he doesn't need this kind of stuff. He needed clarity, hope, and integrity. Now, the backstory pulled from a teenage power fantasy, as it seems. And now there's this mess of, people arguing online within the fandom itself, trying to say, well, maybe Lex faked it, but that's not what's in the movie itself. So reports from movies shows that the message itself coming from Jor-El. It shows Superman accepting it, okay? It shows other characters confirming it. There's no hidden clue, no twist, no reveal. Now, you don't get to go ahead and insert headcanon just because you don't like what you saw, okay? Now, James Gunn made this decision and said it proudly. This isn't some sort of misunderstanding. It's all just deliberate. Now, if James Gunn walks this back later, don't believe for a second that it was a part of the plan. It'll be damage control, it seems, but it'll be walking it back because fans hated it. Now, there was nothing clever about it at all. There was no setup for a reveal. This was the choice. James Gunn gave Superman a backstory that's offensive, tone deaf, and inconsistent with everything people care about in this particular character. Okay, and according to reports, now he's pretending it's still true to the core, and when they're saying it's not. Now, this isn't about hating change. This is about what kind of story you're telling with Superman. Now, if the new DCU starts with a Superman who was sent to dominate and breed, well, the foundation is broken. I mean, simply that's not a platform you build a heroic universe on. That's not a beacon of hope. That's an embarrassment, basically. Now, Superman deserves better than this, and fans deserve better than this, and no amount of edgy James Gunn humor is going to go ahead and make that go away. Now, I'll be honest. I haven't seen the movie yet, as I've said before. I do plan to see it someday. I'm just not rushing to. I'm not trying to go ahead and rush to the theaters and stuff. I'm just waiting and everything, because of the fact that the matter is, from what I've been hearing from the reviews and stuff, it's mixed and stuff, and I'm a bit conflicted because I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to be able to take this in and everything. But honestly, I mean, you don't get a second chance at first impressions. I mean, this was Superman's reintroduction. James Gunn had one job: to go ahead and reestablish Superman as a symbol for truth, hope, and integrity. And it seems that he turned him into a punchline, and unless he walks it back, or, you know, it missed a mistake, the entire DCU is going to be built on a twisted line. Now, Superman is supposed to stand above all of this, but now he's just another joke in a movie that couldn't take him seriously. But then again, these are mixed reviews and stuff. A lot of people love it. That's cool. A lot of people hated it. That's also cool. I mean, I'm not going to take sides and stuff. I'm just going to wait until I'm actually ready to go ahead and see it myself. So let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. And if you enjoy what I shared in this video, go ahead and smash the like button, share the video, follow across social media, subscribe to the channel, join the Discord server, a link in the description below, and I'll see you all in the next one. Until then, peace.